I'd like to give you a quick demo of DocsAutomator's new automation interface, which we have redesigned completely from scratch to make it easier for you to create automations, maintain existing automations, and even generate documents right from the automation interface. On my screen here, I've created a new automation already, and you can see that we now have this 3-tab layout: template, actions, and generate. Template is where you make changes to your template and where you map data. Actions is where you define any actions that run after document generation, uploading a PDF, sending off an email, etc. And generate is where you actually generate documents, but where you also get instructions for how to generate documents from your data source. Let's run this through with an example quickly. We select a template here. We take a Google Doc, our classic modern blur invoice template. We don't want to make any changes. This is the full screen editor. We don't want to make any changes to this right now. This takes us to the template tab, which is now has 2 columns. On the left side is where you select your data source and where your data. On the right side is where you have the template, where you see the template, and you can also make changes to this right away here. And where you also have the preview tab. So there's a template and a preview tab within the right column here. I select Airtable as my data source, select a base, and then table. I map some data with AI so we can generate a preview. Then from here, I can generate a preview once I have mapped my data, which is going to take a couple of seconds till this is done. There we go. So here we can now look at our previews. We can also expand it just like before in the old interface. If you need to make any changes to the template, you can do that here, or you can expand the template editor via this button. And that's it. So basically one concentrate tab now to make changes to the template and map data. Once you're happy with how the template looks in the previews you're generating, you can move on to actions. Actions gives you basically all the actions that can run after document generation. In the case of Airtable now, he has a data source. We can upload PDF to an attachment field. We can save the PDF URL to an Airtable field, etc., etc. All these actions, they were there before as well, but now they are much more organized, and you also only see those actions that you actually select, and don't have a long list of all of them like before. And then the last tab is the Generate tab. The Generate tab is basically a list of the documents that you have already created with this automation. In our case, none, because this is the new one. And then we have the option to create a new document here via the New Document button for this automation. Or we can integrate this. In our case, we selected Airtable as our data source. So we can decide whether we want to generate documents automatically from Airtable or manually from Airtable. And we get instruction and are guided through once we click on one of these buttons, basically. So that's it. That's how the new automation interface is designed. Sorry, one last thing I forgot, which is the settings panel. Depending on which data source is selected, you have a few settings which you select here via that settings button. And then here you get all the options that you have, the settings you have for automations, like how long you want to keep the PDF, how images how images are pre-rendered, the quality of images. In the case of Airtable, also your locale settings, basically for formatting dates and numbers and currency numbers. And that's it. And that's how DocsAutomator's new automation interface works. I hope it makes it easier for you to create automations with it, to maintain your existing ones. Looking forward to your feedback. And for now, I wish you happy automating. Bye.